to An Artist Travels. So great to have you here. My name is Nikki. I'm a professional storyteller and also an educator. I teach both acting and creative writing. In this video, I'm going to share with you a little tool that you can use to become a more successful actor in 2021 and beyond, okay? So leg up. You've probably heard the phrase, acting is a business, time and time again. I'm not saying that's incorrect, okay? I'm not here to debunk that. I actually do agree with that, even though I don't think it speaks to all of what acting is. It certainly is a business, the industry, right? And I think we hear that phrase bandied around so often that we actually forget what it means. At least I did. I know that I heard that phrase for years and I would just nod along and be like, yeah, acting's a business, it's a business. But I actually didn't know what it was, and I think so many people have that same mentality that I had, and because I think very few actors truly really understand what that means for them, I think very few actors are actually taking advantage of the business methods and business insider info that they could really be using to boost their careers. So I'm going to explain what I mean by this. Think about what a business person knows. A business person might know about audience relationships, return on investment, they'll probably know about marketing, they'll know about key performance indicators. And even if they all sound boring and technical, think about the logic here. If acting is a business, all of these terms apply here. And they apply not only to the industry, but you as an individual, because you make up this industry. They can't make entertainment without you, okay? So today we're gonna look at one of the key principles. It's one that I found to be so important in my life. Like, oh my goodness, man, it's made an amazing difference. And I'm just so thankful to God. I've really seen my career just take off. Oh, it's so exciting. Okay, so this is Pareto'S law or Pareto'S principle. I hope I'm saying it right. Pareto, I'm gonna say Pareto, but it's also commonly known as the 80-20 maxim or the 80-20 principle. So you might have heard of the phrase before that 99% of the world's wealth is owned by 1% of its people, right? So that's kind of like the really common usage of this law. Most of the time it's around an 80-20 split, but you'll see different splits. So you might see 90 to 10. And basically Pareto's law means that percent of outcomes or outputs result from 20% of all causes or inputs for any given event. In business, a goal of the 80-20 rule is to identify inputs that are potentially the most productive and make them the priority. For instance, once managers identify factors that are critical to their company's success, they should give those factors the most focus. Although we hear about the 80-20 maxim frequently in business and economics, you can apply this concept to any field. So it can be applied to wealth distribution, as I was talking about earlier, personal finance, spending habits, infidelity in personal relationships, but very importantly, your acting career. So now at this point you're like, okay, but how? Like, what are you talking about? Well, it's really simple. If 80% of your outcome actually only comes from 20% of your input, that means about 80%, and I'm so sorry, it's so painful to like, oh, I'm sorry, but like 80% of like what you are doing is probably not contributing that much to the output that you want. Some people's output might be like, I want to sustain myself on acting full time. That's amazing, that's an amazing goal. Someone else might say, my output is I want to start performing more on screen. Someone else's output might be like, to meet 3 casting directors this month. Do you see what I mean? These are all outputs. And I'm not saying one or the other, by the way. Logically speaking, you need to start focusing on the 20%. It doesn't make sense to be doing this huge bulk of tasks, and actually it's this small chunk that you're doing, this 20%, that is the most effective. It's yielding the most results. So I'm going to give you an active example of how I've done this in my life. For me personally, I graduated from my master's and I was like, okay, let's go, let's start performing. I also write. I was like, let's go, let's start performing, let's write, let's go, let's do this. And I was so enthusiastic, and it's, you know, I look back on that time and I'm like, okay, I know more now, but I don't really like fault myself. It's just a learning curve, right? And I was doing so much. So maybe this sounds familiar to you, right? You've got your spotlight. You're part of, say, like 5 Facebook actor groups. You look for casting breakdowns on Twitter. Your friends send you casting breakdowns. You look on websites for casting breakdowns. You are going to live events. Say, for example, you're meeting casting directors, you're networking with actors, you're doing da 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 da, A, B, C, D. You're part of, not only are you part of Spotlight, but you're part of Backstage, and you're part of Mandy, and you're part of all of this stuff. Now, I'm not saying they are bad. I'm just saying, if you take an honest look, you take inventory of what you're using right now, it's probably 20% that's getting you 80% of those jobs. And I realized this very quickly after reading some business books and understanding, like, wow, actually, if this axiom, this maxim applies to so many areas of my life, why am I not taking advantage of this knowledge? And so let me know, by the way, if you would like me to share some of my favorite books on business that I've read. I'm very happy to make a video like that if that's interesting. It's slightly out of the norm for this channel, but if that's interesting to you, let me know. And by the way, if you're enjoying this video, please give the video a like and subscribe. It just lets me know that it's giving you value, and it really helps out the channel. So I would appreciate that. Thank you so much. So what I did after I found out this information was I sat down and I thought about all the acting jobs that I had booked since graduating. At the time, I'd just gone on my first ever UK tour. It was amazing, with a theatre company called Nun01. I just worked on this awesome show called Medusa that was really, really fun. It was very immersive. I loved it. And I just made a list. I'm not sure if I actively made a list or I just thought about it. I can't remember, but I think it'd be helpful to make a physical list of all the things that I had done. And I realized something that I did not know. I realized that the jobs that I'd gotten had come from personal contacts I had in the industry. They had come from people I had met at events. They had come from friends. They had come from theatre companies now established, from people that I had studied with. And they were saying, yo, we know you, we love your work, do you want to come and perform in the show? Do you want to come and tour our show? These were the kinds of things that I was getting. And so I thought, okay, that's interesting. It's not the 10 Facebook groups that I've joined. I had also toured my own show, which was amazing. And just looking at all this stuff made me realize, I need to narrow down my focus. Sitting down, taking inventory and applying the age 20 principle to my life really, really changed things for me, okay? Like, I was able to be so focused. That's step number one. That's identifying. Step number two, I stopped checking social media because I realized, actually, whilst it does offer some acting opportunity, it was not enough to justify the amount of time I was spending on it. But what or who did justify my time? Well, it was my friends in the industry. It was my contacts in the industry. Now, please don't panic. Please don't be sitting here going, maybe you're newer to the industry and you don't have like all these contacts. Please don't be sitting here like, oh my goodness, like, okay, she's just telling me about contacts, but like, where am I getting the contacts from, Nikki? Like, what's going on with that? The point isn't I'm saying go out and get contacts in the industry, although that's always great. The point of this video is to tell you to take inventory of what you are doing right now and look at what is yielding the highest result. For you, maybe the highest result is actually the fact that you are subscribed to a great service such as Backstage or Mandy, for example. I'm not telling you to get rid of that. Let's imagine you're a model and you're on Instagram and you're getting 90% of your commissions from your Instagram page. Honey, keep your Instagram page. But if you also now have a website, you have a Twitter, you have a LinkedIn, you have all these things that you're struggling to maintain, you're not really keeping the same focus or brand throughout. What's the point? What is the point? Narrow down your focus. I think that will actually be so much better. And as I was saying, businesses know this. This is what businesses do. This is how businesses grow, okay? They focus on that 20%. So whether it's from your weekly acting class, from your teacher, that's fine. Keep it. So if you find that you've been finding a lot of jobs through, let's say, Facebook groups, up the engagement in those Facebook groups. What can you do now to get to know more people? If you're great at making your own work, for example, keep doing that and maybe focus on the quality of your work and maybe getting it in front of more people. That's what you should be focused on. If, for example, it's through your agent, that's amazing. What do you need to do with your agent? Maybe you need to schedule some meetings with your agent and maybe just discuss like what else you can do to help them to get you into the room more often. Or maybe you want to just clarify the types of roles they're pitching you forward for. So improve your relationship with that agent. If you're getting opportunities for your acting teacher, that is Amazing. So think about the ways in which you can help out your acting teacher. Can you recommend their class and that way they get new students? How can you help out? And now I just want to clarify here. I'm not saying be fake, pretend to be nice so that you can get more acting auditions. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm trying to say is that a relationship goes two ways. If they're benefiting you so much, you should also find a way to be helpful. And the byproduct of that is that we are people, we're relationships, we're wired for connection, and presumably, hopefully, that relationship will continue to grow and develop throughout your career as well. And the more comfortable you feel with them, the more they'll feel with you. So it's really just about knowing how you like to interact with people. What are the best ways for you personally? Think of it this way. If a relationship with someone is working, putting more effort into it is going to bless the both of you. So if it's through contacts, check in with those contacts. See how they are. Thank the people that you've worked with so far. All of this goes such a long way. To recap, 80% of your results come from 20% of your inputs. That is huge, that is massive, and whether it's sometimes skewed 90-10, sometimes it'll be 70-30, sometimes 99-1%. But the point is, it's usually a small amount of your effort that's going to generate the largest results. So figure out what your own personal 20% is, identify that, and then really maximize it. Pour all of your energy into that 20%. Now, if you don't know what your 20% is, you might just be a little bit newer to the industry. You actually haven't had enough opportunity yet. You haven't actually built up a track record to be like, actually, I can see a pattern here. And that's fine. I'm so here to make a video on that as well if you're interested, in terms of getting acting jobs in general. So if you would like that, please comment that down below, let me know, and also let me know what your 20% is, because I think that will actually help loads of people. It could help me, it could help someone down in the comments who's like, oh my gosh, I hadn't thought about that avenue, maybe I should search this as well. So please leave that comment down below, let's help each other out. And I hope that was helpful. That's all for today, and I will see you in the next video for more fun, inspirational content for actors and creatives. See you later, bye!